Hospital. So as we take a look at this together, what we heard from the doctor from the hospital in Chiang Rai, the boys are strong in their minds and in their hearts, but 3 of them have minor lung infections. He specified pneumonia, but 3 minor infections. They are having their blood tested, as we talked about. They will be in hospital for 7 to 10 days, and then they will be resting and recovering at home for 30 days, the doctors have said. As we look at those images, quite striking. You see sitting up, all wearing face masks with their nurses looking after them. They remain in quarantine, but giving Thai greetings there as they look to the camera. They are now eating normally, we can tell you, no longer on the liquid diet or just on the porridge. They've moved on to their normal foods. Don't know if they've had the fried rice and pork that they requested, but they're no longer restricted in what they can eat. We've also seen from them in some of these pictures, and you get the waves there, we have seen from their families who are there outside the glass looking in at their boys, and some of them tearing up as they saw their sons. The parents as well, mothers in all of the images, wearing masks as well and crying. But again, as we look at this is the first video that we have from inside the hospital in Chiang Rai to show the boys very, very appreciative of the care that they are receiving, as you see in some of those greetings. And we also are hearing that in terms of their mental health, the boys are recovering nicely. But again, that's part of the rehab. These are images of the last of the Navy SEALs, the SEALs who were in the cave with the boys once they were rescued, until they were brought out, and they too in quarantine and being tested to make sure that they are all right. What we learned as well, just a little bit more detail, some of the key decisions along the way, just how difficult it was to maneuver. That we knew, that we've been told a number of times, and they looked at the options for what they should do for the boys. Should they keep them there for an extended period of time? The key things that happened were the dropping level of oxygen. When it went to 15%, they said 12% was going to be critical. So they knew with the oxygen level dropping, they were going to have to act quickly. And of course, with those monsoon rains moving in, it was almost impossible to fight against nature, is what we heard from one of the officials. And they decided that they were going to have to do something very much. A really difficult operation that we have never experienced before was how they were characterizing the rescue operation. We also heard, in terms of the difficulties, one of the things that enabled them to surmount that was the incredible international cooperation. U.S., Australia, China, the U.K., all of the countries mentioned and thanked, and they talked about how that was critical in terms of getting this to a successful conclusion, and how this was going to be, they thought, a learning opportunity for rescue missions of this sort in the future. They've learned so much from all of this. Michael Serapio joining me here in studio as we continue to look at these images. And Michael, you're just seeing these for the first time as you come in. We've been showing them, and this was part of the news briefing that we've been watching live on CBC News Network. The nurses there, but there are the boys in their quarantine. You see the Thai greetings. They're sitting up. Yes, they're wearing their masks, but they look to be, as the doctor said, in relatively good health after that incredible ordeal. For some of them, 18 days in that cave, and there they are.
There they are. And, you know, as well, we also heard in that news conference that some of them, 3 of them, 2 of the boys and the coach, having minor chest infections, minor bouts of pneumonia. But it's also interesting to see how very happy they seem despite being in quarantine right now. Of course, happy to be rescued, but also many pointing out the fact that they